Hey everyone, Nick Majera here with LoanSites, and we have the one and only Michael McAllister here with Empower Funnels. Michael, give everyone the peace symbol.
How you doing?
Good man, good. Thanks for joining us here. So, Michael and I, we don't know each other that well, but I look at your business and I see it as something that actually works. It's going to be something that I actually believe in, which is really cool. So I was telling Michael a little bit of, so kind of what LoanSites does is we create mortgage websites that are the best looking mortgage websites, but not only that, they actually convert visitors into leads. And so the site does what it's meant to do, where it actually, it will get people to the site, but then it actually converts those visitors to leads as well. And so the problem that I see a lot of mortgage bankers having, and I'm sure that you can relate to this, is that once someone gets a lead, they don't know what to do with it, or it kind of just sits there. They don't have the systems that actually turn those leads into actual customers. And so we're going to hear a little bit about Empower Funnels, of kind of how they fix that problem. But then it looks like they actually do a bunch of kind of other sources of lead generation as well that seem to really work really well as well. So, but Michael, before we get into all that, so you are a loan officer as well, correct?
Correct.
Yep. So I'm a loan officer over in Chicagoland, and he's over. Are you in Idaho now? That's right, Boise.
Yeah, Boise suburb, Meridian, Idaho.
Nice. It's funny. I say Chicago, and we were just joking. I live kind of on a little hobby farm in Chicagoland, so we're not city folk here, but we're close enough. But so how long have you actually been in the mortgage industry now, Mike?
Yeah, so I've been in the mortgage industry for about 3 years now.
Yep.
I only consider it about a year and a half though, because prior to that I was doing the bank gig, right? And basically just calling refi lists at big banks. I worked for two big banks, one down in San Diego, and then when I moved from San Diego to Boise, they didn't have a presence up here, and so worked for another big bank up here before I put my big boy pants on.
Yeah. It's funny because I actually think there's a lot of foundational philosophies that you learn probably very well in those big bang situations where you're just constantly talking on the phone to people and going through all their information. I haven't done that route, but I imagine it's not just wasted time. So yeah.
No, not at all. And really what it boils down to is having a high volume of people to call. You have your lists and stuff. You have a lot of conversations, solve a lot of problems. If you're a halfway decent human being, you learn a lot about guidelines because you recognize that, hey, as a bank, we don't do very much. And so if you want to service your customers, you've got to understand what an overlay is and where it applies. And, it takes a special kind of person to really take their experience with a big bank that far, but that's definitely what I tried to do while I was there, and why I ultimately went out on my own.
Yeah, and then I'm guessing you went on your own just because you knew, hey, there was more money to be made, on your own. Is that right, in sourcing your own business?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, really what it boiled down to is goals, and wanting to make a lot more money than I was making at the time, and knowing that I couldn't do that at a bank, and knowing that I kind of wanted to explore this internet marketing thing to see if I could make it happen on that side, and knowing that working at a big bank, that was never going to be possible with the compliance hurdles and stuff that you have to.
Yeah, exactly. It's similar story to me. I kind of fell into the industry. I've always had website and graphic design, in my back pocket, and I've had website companies and design companies. And one of my first, I would say big clients was a mortgage company. And so as I was working in the mortgage company, just on the back end marketing side of things, I realized, I'm doing their stuff, and I'm thinking, I really like this business and this industry. You don't have to do that many deals to make quite a lot of money and have a pretty good life for yourself. It just looks so easy from the outside. Years later, we find, it's not quite that easy, but, once you have a system that works, there's no other industry to do, really. It's hard to leave once you see that income coming in, but also, kind of seeing the steps of how that actually happens in a streamlined manner. So, yeah. So, how did Empower Funnels come along then?
So basically when I made that transition, from the big bank to the real world, as I call it, the real mortgage world. As I made that transition, once again, I recognized that I had really high goals, and traditional ways weren't going to be how I reached those goals. I knew that agent relationships weren't going to happen fast enough. I didn't like working with agents, and so I knew that that wasn't going to be like a productive path for me. But I knew that I really didn't have any other option to make the kind of money that I wanted to make. Besides mortgage, like it's a perfect vehicle if you can figure out your way of doing it.
Yep.
And so that's where the internet marketing piece came along. I worked with internet leads in the car business when I lived down in San Diego. I was a internet sales manager down there, worked with internet leads a lot, and knew kind of how the game worked, and I knew enough loan officers that had bought internet leads and complained about the quality and how many leads they had to call to be able to get a deal and all this stuff, and knew that there was an opportunity in that space. But at the same time couldn't afford to just shell out $50 a lead on Zillow or LendingTree or anything like that. So ultimately decided I wanted to figure out internet marketing. Andrew Pollock has a book, Mortgage Marketing Manifesto, amazing book. He's the founder of Lead Pops. Read that book and it rocked my world. He referenced basically two main traffic sources for lead generation. He said Facebook and Google. He really downplayed the value of Google a lot because at the time nobody could figure out how to do it for cheap enough to make it worth it, and so cost per clicks are around $10, and you can't generate leads like that, right? And so I couldn't figure out Facebook though. I mean, I went on to Facebook, I invested in a couple programs, and I just want, like, even at the point that I could get leads for cheap enough, they were terrible quality, and I just couldn't figure it out.
That's the whole thing about Facebook, I think, is mortgage bankers love doing Facebook ads, and I've seen mortgage bankers spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on Facebook ads, and they generate a ton of leads, but almost none of those leads actually turn into actual customers. And so whether that's the follow-up or it's just it's a hard market to target. People are actually looking to buy a home or refinance. So
right. So I was fortunate enough to take that feedback early and say, man, this just doesn't make sense to me. Like, how am I going to interrupt people's thought patterns enough to get them to, put intent behind a mortgage inquiry? And I just couldn't figure that out. And so that's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna try this Google thing, and ultimately ended up being really, really good at it. I mean, my average cost per click's like $1.59. Average cost per lead's about $8-9. They're high quality long form leads. They come through about 10 to 12 question lead form questionnaire. So got really, really good at it, and then spent about 6 to 8 months just blowing up my business with it, going from zero in production to averaging about 1.5, making 15-20 grand a month, and feeling good.
Of those deals, was that what percentage would you say would be from your actual digital marketing as opposed to referrals?
That's a tough question because really the referrals that I got, the majority of the referrals that I got were an extension of this program or as a result of this program, right? And so I would say, I had a couple deals throughout the year that came through, a family member, a refi here, and whatever, right? But 90% of the business that came in was either A, an internet lead, or B, a referral that came from somebody that I had referred an internet lead to.
Of course.
And so it was like I literally started at ground zero and just built a successful business out of nothing with the internet lead gen. And so,
that's awesome, man. So my kind of claim to fame is, similar to you, starting fresh and not really know what I want to do. And, it's funny because I had this whole digital marketing background, but I was just kind of taught initially, hey, referrals is the way to go. And so, I was just pounding on the phones, getting meetings with agents and other referral sources and trying to get my business that way. And it worked. It definitely did it. A lot of stress, a lot of heartache, and a lot of hard work to do it. My claim to fame is that, I went from doing maybe 1 or 2 deals a month to really pounding it, and 60 days later I had 24 contracts in my pipeline. And so, just a big skyward soared up, which is really, really cool. but it really wasn't almost sustainable just because there was no really funnel that that kind of tracked all the leads coming through. And now we have a whole team that takes care of it, which is really great. But man, I remember kind of going through that those initial stages, and even now, it's there is systems that still need to be tweaked and everything like that. And so yeah. So all right, so you did all this, you saw success through it, and so you decided to turn into a business to basically help other loan officers do this. Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, what happened was I had gotten to a level of production where I needed to bring on an assistant, and I invested a ton into one individual that I felt like was going to be that person, right? That in more of a loan partner role. I went to a company. I was at a company that didn't offer a ton of support, and then I transitioned to a company that offered a lot of support that allowed that person to be more of a partner role than an actual admin role. And it wasn't 30, 60 days into being in the new company with this person that it was very obvious that it wasn't going to work. I mean, it was failing miserably. And I had to let that person go. And at that point I was like, man, I can't start from, I was closing 8-9 loans a month at that point, and had only been in the business a couple of years. I had never done that before. I was overwhelmed. Had a baby on the way, burnout kicked in, and I ultimately said, you know what, I don't know that I can do this again. And build it up this way. I think I would prefer to let the people that are good at that stuff do it and just put leads in their hands.
There you go. It's funny. So I have now gone through basically 3 different iterations of mortgage teams, and not in that long time of a time gap either. And so, I feel your pain just because I'll build things up so well, and then everything just kind of crashes once you have the wrong team, and then you get a new team, build it up so well, thinks everything great, and everything crashes. And now things are going so smooth, it's really great. It's great when you actually get it, but I hear you, man. And so it's funny because I personally don't feel like, there's certain people that are just really great at reading tax returns and figuring out income and talking to borrowers and updating everyone, and very analytical about how they do things. And then there's people that just are naturally gifted at bringing in deals. And so I found very quickly I'm just not good at doing mortgages, and so I quickly hired that out, and then kind of figured, what, I actually love helping other loan officers with their marketing and digital marketing as well. And so similar path to you. So anyway, go on. I love this. So you're helping loan officers. So let's say there's someone listening to this for the first time, and they're saying, hey, I love how this sounds. So how does this actually work on your end?
Yeah, so what we do is we build a fully turnkey solution for loan officers, right? And not just turnkey in that you're going to have leads land in your lap, but turnkey as in we're going to manage the initial follow-up piece for you too, the initial contact piece. So what we do is we build out a unique domain, a unique website for that loan officer. And it's basically just a conversion optimized landing page. As somebody that knows CRO as much as you do, or conversion rate optimization, you understand as well as anybody that the value of having a directed landing page versus just sending people to your homepage on your website.
Yep, for sure.
And so we just build single page websites that are landing pages basically, and drive traffic to those. And we have a very unique keyword bidding strategy that makes AdWords specialists cringe, and which is kind of like our secret sauce, our success. And I say secret, I'll teach it to anybody who wants to know it, but that's kind of what has made us successful. And then so from there that we generate these long form leads, and then from there we have a partnership with a CRM called SalesPipe, an amazing company. We can talk more about them later, but we have a partnership with SalesPipe. And what that looks like is basically these leads come into a CRM, and they are it instantly added into an automated follow-up campaign that includes voicemail drops, text messages, and emails. And that campaign automatically unsubscribe, or they are automatically unsubscribed from that campaign at the point that they initiate any kind of response. So they don't have to say unsubscribe, they don't have to say stop. The idea behind this is that you're simulating a person that is tenaciously and relentlessly following up with you, right? And so we pack a ton of actions into the first 10 days. We build out a 6-month campaign where they're getting voicemail, text message, email within 5 minutes of responding. Actually, a voicemail and an email within seconds of responding, and text message within 5 minutes.
Cool.
And then we just build that out for 6 months, and we tell our customers, hey, don't even look at the leads as they come in. Like, it's cool to see the leads that are coming in, right? But the fact is leads, even highly intentional, long form leads, leads are only going to convert at 3 to 5% if you're good at this, if you're good at converting leads. Now, granted, that's over, I quantify my conversion over about 120 day to 150 day period of time. So we're talking like quick turnaround with these, but you have to burn through a lot of no's and a lot of garbage to get to the yes. And so what we tell our customers, don't even look at the leads as they come in. You're going to get about 40% of them that respond to your campaign, and those are the ones you want to work with.
That's awesome.
And then from there, we offer ongoing management and coaching, and so we're looking inside their campaigns every month, saying, hey, this is what you're doing, this is what best practices tell us that will improve your conversion. We really like what you did here. Can we use it in this? And we have these conversations with our customers once a month to make sure that not only are they getting the leads, but they're making money off of them as well.
And that's the whole goal of it. Man, it sounds awesome. I love it. And so if just cutting straight to the chase, if someone's watching this, so how much do you charge? And I'm guessing it's going to be a little fluctuation, because I'm just assuming you can charge more to for higher Google rankings. Is that right? Or how does that actually work?
Because everything we do is pay-per-click based. We don't have, like, the amount of money that you spend has no impact on your cost per lead.
Got it.
So the value in that is that what we do is we set up a system where you own and control the ads in the account, the ad account.
Okay.
So, and when I say control, it's a hands-off control. We're actually controlling it from our account, but you can see everything with complete transparency. And basically, so the way we structure our charge is we charge a setup fee up front to get everything rolling for you.
Cool.
And then we charge a monthly management fee that includes access to that CRM, that sales pipe CRM at a ridiculous value. It includes that as well moving forward. And then what you do at that point is you pay the ad spend directly through Google Ads. Okay. So you add your credit card to Google Ads.
Has nothing to do with you then. So I got you.
Exactly. And so what that does, it creates full transparency. They know what their cost per lead is. They don't ever have to think about whether or not, like, we're generating these for $4 and selling them for $10 or anything like that. Like, it's 100% transparency. So as far as what we charge, right, the meat of it, we charge a $2,000 setup fee. And then we charge $750 a month, and that includes your membership for up to your membership to SalesPipe CRM for up to $2,000 in ad spend, which should be about 200 leads. Okay,
man, it sounds awesome. So, so it sounds to me like would you recommend this for like a brand? Is it more for brand newbies, or would you recommend this for someone who's really, they've been in the industry for a while? It really doesn't matter though, does it?
I mean, it really depends on your situation. I mean, if you're a brand newbie, like, you're gonna crash and burn a little bit with this, because it's a high volume of conversations happening in a short amount of time. And then the other aspect of it is just the financial commitment that goes along.
Of course.
If you're a brand newbie, that's a lot to swallow. Even if you have a lump sum that you're taking from your previous venture and investing it into this, it's kind of a tough pill to swallow if you don't know how you're going to perform with it. So typically brand newbies are actually not within our target market.
Yeah, and that makes sense. I'm a big believer. You gotta sink a little bit before you can swim. So that totally makes sense. All right, so for the full cost of this, so you have your setup fee, and then you have your basically your fee for actually running it, as an ongoing fee. And then there's going to be a separate cost of the ads, correct?
Correct.
And so have you guys found, is there like a general price your customers are doing that you've seen the best results, or what do you guys really recommend dollar-wise, to be spending?
Well, so we offer a $15 max cost per lead guarantee with this at the AdWord level, meaning before our management is charged, we'll guarantee that your cost per lead will be $15 or less. Our average is about $8 to $9. We give ourselves a little bit of a cushion in case market changes or whatever occur. And so within that framework, We have the least we recommend, because of the amount that we charge and wanting to be able to see, like with the law of averages, somebody actually get a return on their investment. The least we recommend is about $750 a month. So $1,500 total investment.
Yeah.
But as far as how much you can do, it can go as high as you want at that point, because we can manipulate the areas that we're targeted within your state, depending on the density populations, or we can manipulate a lot of different things to get you more leads if you want more leads, and it's all going to be right around that $10 lead price.
Okay, cool. And then I'm guessing you can actually manipulate, depending on, let's say someone really loves doing VA loans, you can kind of manipulate just targeting VA loans, stuff like that as well.
Yeah, we can. We don't right now.
Okay.
Let me put it this way: if we have an existing customer, and this is how we roll out a lot of new stuff, right? If we have an existing customer that we have a relationship with that has bought into our purchase pre-approval lead program and are having success with it, and they want us to try something else, then we'll do that. And a lot of the times we'll do that free of charge, or for a very, very small charge, right?
With that said, you guys know what you're doing on certain things, and you want to make sure it's done right. Yeah.
Right. On the VA side of things, the thing is the reason niches have become popular is because people think that it's easier and cheaper to market within the niches, and that is the case in a lot of cases, right? Yeah. But when you talk about a platform like ads, where a Google ads, where people don't really understand it to begin with, and all they know is that the money is in the niches, the riches are in the niches, right? Then you get a ton of people that are bidding on the niche keywords, and a huge untapped potential with just general search keywords, and really that's a lot of the way we separate ourselves, a lot of the way that we get the results that we do, is because we are able to capture leads from what people are actually searching. And so
Facebook's very passive. You're just kind of hoping someone's looking. You guys you're capturing the people who are literally searching, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. And so when you talk about niching down, the more you niche down with something like that, the less volume of searches are going to be available, and the less predictable the results will be. And that's why we want to wait until we have somebody that we're established with that wants to explore that, so that they know, hey, we're not just trying to take your money, like we're interested in exploring this.
That's fair. And I love the transparency behind it as well. I think people are, it just makes sense. So that's awesome, man. So, all right. So, if someone's watching this, they want to sign up, what do they do? They go on your website here and click, I want a demo.
Yeah, I want a demo, live demo at the top as well in the headline. Yep. You do that, that'll take you to our booking page, and you just book your appointment for your live demo. You got to complete that live demo. We don't have our pricing and ability to check out online. We're pretty selective about who we work with. We only work with a limited number of LOs in each market. Right now we're trying to cap it at about 2 per state, except for your bigger states: California, Texas, New York, Florida, of course.
And that just makes sense for you, for this line of work that you're really doing. I love it, man. It's great.
So this is you just book your time right here. You'll get a link to an online video chat, and it'll either be me or somebody on my team that'll hop onto that video chat with you, and we'll walk you through exactly what we do, how we do it, complete transparency, answer any questions you have, and see if it fits for you.
That's awesome, man. All right, guys, empowerfunnels.com. Go to their site. You can check out. I mean, you got an awesome blog as well, where you actually help people. Which is one of the coolest things that I love. It's what we do at LoanSites as well. It's just, hey guys, this is how we do things. It's free. Learn up. With that said, I believe LO's time is really it's money, and so I'm a firm believer LOs should really focus on doing what they do best. It's converting these deals into clients and getting people closed, rather than working on how to become a digital marketer. And so what you're doing is absolutely perfect. I absolutely love it. And it's so cool actually how it falls in line with what we're doing at LoanSites as well. And so if anybody's watching that doesn't know LoanSites, it's basically what we do. We make you look like $1 million. And so that helps referrals. It helps these leads that are actually searching for you. They're actually going to look at you and see how professional you really are. As well as a ton of SEO stuff that we do on the back end. We're updating your blog every single week for you. and as well as creating specific neighborhood pages to get SEO up for you for that. And then from there, converting those leads into actual clients through great call to actions, which I imagine is going to be very complementary to what Empower Funnels is actually doing as well. So I feel like Empower Funnels is almost like a LoanSites supercharged almost. It's LoanSites pricing. We have a $300 setup fee, and then our professional package is $169 a month. What you guys do though, it's complimentary times 1,000. I absolutely love everything you guys are doing. So
and what we do, to speak on that, like what we do, what you do is still necessary for my clients.
You need the foundations, I believe, and so we're kind of very foundational. You are accelerated, and so that's kind of how I see it.
And to the people that are watching this, I mean, one thing that I want to highlight is we talk. I talk in my blog a lot about the value of your website and a lot about the value of conversion rate optimization, right? And making sure that not only do you have a website that is good, pretty, right? That represents.
Unfortunately, that does make sense. Yeah, it's got to look
right.
Good. Yeah.
Not only do you not that, but you need something that's actually going to convert the visitors into leads. Because the fact is if you have that foundation, you can build your entire mortgage business around your website. Yep. You can build all of your marketing around your website. Your website can be the centerpiece to an insanely successful mortgage business. I mean, look at Quicken. That's exactly what they did, right? And so I just have to say that I've talked to a lot of people that build websites, and your focus on conversion and just what works, right? Don't question aesthetics. Don't ask me if I can put this color here or anything like that. The fact is we know what works. We know what's going to convert leads, and those are the that's the type of website that a loan officer needs.
There you go. Convert, so. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, love it. Well, cool. Well, you want any parting words? Or are you good?
I'm good, man.
Yeah. I love your product.
We're pumping you up a little bit. I like LoanSites. I like it a lot. I just appreciate you having me on here, and really look forward to doing a lot of business together down the road.
Yeah, well, we're going to see Empower Funnels all over the place. I know you guys are going to explode. For everyone who's watched this, I can only imagine your prices are going to be increasing as well. And so just because, for what you guys are doing, it makes sense. So empowerfunnels.com, everyone, or you can go to loansites.co. And thanks for watching. We'll talk soon. Have a great day, everyone.